I was running on Long Street in Fort Bragg, and if anybody out there is familiar with Bragg, you know Long Street all too well with its many steep hills. And literally, I was at the point of exhaustion. I had just had enough. I was ready to quit. And just at that point, another soldier, he saw me drenched in sweat, about to give up, and he dropped back in formation. And he said, relax, take a deep breath, lean back, and I'll push you up the hill.
Off the battlefield, U.S. Army veteran Bobette Brown continues to serve by transforming other veterans, motivating them to see their battle wounds as badges of honor and their scars as beauty marks. She's our special guest today on Washington Full Circle. Thanks so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And congratulations.
Well, thank you.
We salute you.
Thank you very much.
Now, you've been doing a lot of things, I know, but one of the special ones is being fresh off a HBO series,
Yes.
Got Your Six. Tell us what that's all about.
Got Your Six is a phenomenal organization, and what they're really doing is they're working really to change the narrative about veterans. Unfortunately, a lot of times when you see veterans, you see them typically as downtrodden, maybe with such severe PTSD that they're actually not able to function. And so what they're really working to do is really to bridge that civilian-military divide and also change the narrative so that veterans, we brought a lot of skill from our military service, our leadership, our discipline, those characteristics of quality and integrity. We have a lot to offer, and not all of the veterans are dealing with such severe circumstances. And of course, when we often hear about veterans, unfortunately, it's usually a he and not the she. And so that's what really the Got Your Six piece is all about. And I was extremely honored to be a part of that initiative that they did.
Now, your story is you were you're a veteran.
Yes.
And you were wounded in the war. You're a paratrooper. Tell us what that entailed.
Okay, well, I didn't fight in battle, but what I was wounded. I'll tell you what initially happened. Different situations have occurred for me being a part of the elite 82nd Airborne Paratrooper, and I'm glad that's right, whoop, whoop, airborne all the way. So when I was been in the military, I was in for about 5 years. I rose in rank rapidly. As a matter of fact, when I got out, I was an E6, and that's really very quick, on the path to becoming an E7. But when I was in the military, one of the things that I can say that a lot of us women specifically, but not only, we dealt with some situations, and I would say for me, some dark situations in that sexual assault, sexual harassment. And what I really wanted to do is I wanted to hide those. I thought that if I put those incidents behind me and pretended as if they never happened, that they would go away, but they didn't. And so I had to make some decisions to face those issues that I'd gone through. I had to face them.
Alone?
And not alone. I'll tell you, I got some help. And that's one of the things that I really work on trying to teach people is that it's important to face it. If you're going to fix it, you have to be able to feel it if you want to heal it. And so I went to therapy, and therapy, I tell you, it was phenomenal. It was tough. It was so tough, but it was good because it put me in a position where I now help others face some of their dark secrets, and I can teach them not only to survive in life, but to thrive in life. And even as an 82nd Airborne Paratrooper, my left knee, just less than 2 years ago, was sliced, diced, cemented, and stapled with 22 surgical staples. And I could have chosen to keep that secret to myself, or I could then help others walk through some tough times of their lives. Because when I got finished, they sent me on my merry way, and I had to learn how to walk again.
Amazing.
But because of that, I get to help countless others walk again. So that's what I really think is important, that resilience isn't just about how you bounce back, but it's how you use that bounce back to leave a greater impact on the world around you.
Now, you're talking about what happened to you in the service, but what on earth made you decide to join the military in the first place?
Well, I am a child of a career soldier. My dad was a special agent in the United States Army, career veteran. So it's what I knew. I grew up, I've traveled the world, and that also brings such great joy to me. I genuinely love people, and I think a part of that is because I have been able to travel around the world. Germany, my brother was born in Germany. I have sisters who were born in Honolulu, Hawaii. We've been in San Francisco, Kentucky. You name it, we've literally traveled the world. And that's how I was introduced. I was in my first year of college. I was there on a volleyball softball scholarship.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How good can you
yes,
play?
I can play very well. So, and that first base, lefty. So yeah, I held it down. I held it down. But when I left college, I just went for a year, and my parents couldn't afford to keep me in college. And I said, you know, I had the choice then, do you want to go back home? I said, oh, no, I didn't want to go back home. And so I thought, what was the most natural thing for me to do? And it was what I was most, very comfortable with, what I was very familiar with. And I said, I'm going to join the United States Army. And I did. And then as I entered and I was excelling, going through training, then I said, I want to be an airborne, I want to be a paratrooper.
Jump out of planes.
That's right, I'm going to jump out perfectly good planes. And so that's what I did. And the experience has been phenomenal. You know, I'm pretty elite to be one of the very few African-American women, I should say of a small cadre, if you will, of women who've actually been able to be a part of the 82nd Airborne Division, which is now no more. So, you know, I'm glad to be a part of that whole legacy, that whole history.
Amazing. Well, there's lots more to talk about. Our profile of U.S. Army veteran, transformation expert, and D.C. native Bobette Brown continues in a moment when Washington Full Circle returns. Welcome back. Today's special guest is former U.S. Army 82nd Airborne Paratrooper Bobette Brown. Now, we heard a little bit about the military, but you've been doing a lot of talking lately.
Yes.
You're a motivational speaker. Tell us what that's all about. Who do you talk to?
I talk to mainly women. I'm helping women most of the time. They're women. I do have some men that I work with as well. And what I really want people to do is to bounce back from some of the experiences that they've had. To know that all that they've been through, really, it hasn't been about us at all, but it's really been about being able to be trusted. Trusted to recycle those wounds, those stories, those experiences, to bring help, to bring hope, to bring encouragement, and even wisdom to the world around us. And so when you look at, like, I've been trusted to take those stories. And so we all have an opportunity because life happens to all of us, and we get to choose what to do with those situations. Like I shared with you about my knee, having gone through that situation and having to learn how to walk again. But now I get to teach countless others to walk again. I'm going through the situation where I didn't mention this, but at one point I had not slept for not 1, 2, 3, or even 4. But for 5 days, I had not slept. And I was in the doctor's office before that specific reason. And that's when it was discovered that I was hiding and holding some deep, dark secrets. But I just had no idea the impact of holding these deep, dark secrets could really have on the body.
Physical effect on
that
you, yes.
Absolutely, because you have that physical effect and the mental effect as well. And that's, again, I've been able to take that and show people, you know, what you hide, it won't subside. So you got to get the help that you need. But when you get the help that you need, it positions you to be in a phenomenal place. And that's where I am now with my coaching practice, because now, even though I had the knee situation, that shattered knee. Oh yeah, okay, that was a part of it. But that put me in a position now where I'm able to thrive and help other people. The sexual assault and abuse, I could have conformed to a life of shame and embarrassment, but now I use that to help other people transform in their lives so that they're able to leave a lasting legacy. And I'm able to do that with my coaching practice, my speaking business, my consulting business. I've written a book, You Can Defy the Odds. See? Be a water walker. You can defy the odds. And that's the point. We don't have to look like what we've been through, but it's all up to us. So that's the wonderful thing that I think is so important, that I work with my clients to help them maximize their potential and their profitability in the marketplace by really learning to leverage those stories, taking what has happened in their lives and then turning it in such a way, or transitioning it in such a way that they're able to impact and actually leave a lasting legacy. So whether it's the book, or whether it's through my speaking, or whether it's through my coaching, that's the whole piece. Is I want you to leverage those experiences, and whether you want to write a book, you want to start a blog, you want to start a business, it's about getting behind the things that really should have destroyed you. You use that thing to help build other people up.
Now, is it any different coaching women than it is coaching men to come back, to take control of their lives?
No. I think overall, people are people. I think the way we handle, I think men typically are a little bit more introspective. They typically hold their thoughts a little bit more. Women, we're more emotional. We typically will share. But even within my military experience and myself, just like I said, I was holding some deep, dark secrets myself. I didn't realize it's just possible to be traumatized and go on with the business of life and never even realize it. And until I was unable to sleep, that's what really actually got the attention of my doctors and said, there has to be something deeper. What's going on? And I had a decision to make. I could hide those secrets and then, bury them, and then one day allow them to bury me prematurely. Or I could take them, get the help that I needed, and then be put in a different position. And that's what I chose to do. And that's what I get to do now with my coaching practice and my speaking business.
Now, with this post-traumatic stress, is that something that's quite common, both men and women in veterans?
Yes, it is very common with both men and women. Typically in men, it's usually combat related. We see more with combat, loud noises. Women, typically, it does come in the area, what I experienced, assault. Typically that is the way, and that's one thing that really happened to me as well. I thought I was going on with life as usual. I was very proud of myself with some of the things that I was doing. It wasn't until I had a meeting with my therapist, for example, I was sitting on the metro, and I would sit on the metro and I call myself being very uncognizant of my surroundings. I was very proud of that. And what I did was I would look at in the window, and I could do a 360 and see what was going on around me. I was very proud of that. And I said, I really taught myself to be aware of my surroundings. But what happened when I was doing my therapist said, when you were assaulted, where did the person come from? I said, from my rear. He said, so the other people that you're sitting with on the train, are they looking in the mirror? And before I was so proud of myself, I said, oh yes, I taught them how to do that. I was so proud of myself. And he said, the reason why they didn't do it is because they don't have your experience.
Wow.
They had not gone through the trauma that I had gone through, so they had not put these mechanisms in place like I had done. So here I was thinking I'm doing it now, and then I only to discover there was a hidden agenda behind that.
Fascinating. Fascinating talking with you. Thanks so much for stopping by. We're very proud of you. We salute you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Behind the scenes with the fleet crew of Capital Bike Share, who moves the bikes around so you have wheels when you need them. Washington Full Circle will be right back.